So my talk today is part 2 of a talk that I began last week. And it's all about practical ways for us to be the light. And a week ago we talked about how simple it is in one sense, that it all comes down to remembering, aligning through remembering. And I want to just double back for a moment to some of the points that I made last week, relating specifically to blaming and forgiveness. We talked about how when we blame others, we practically forsake the light of our being and of theirs. And on the other hand, when we forgive people, we reconnect with the light of our being and the light of their being. And we had a powerful mantra that we used last week that I want to bring back to our memory. It says, I forgive you for forsaking the light in my presence. We could also say, I forgive you for forsaking your light in your presence. It works many ways. But today, I want to start off with a very profound truth. So if you can stay awake just for this paragraph. And it is that we always belong to the light. We always belong to the light. You know, in Ireland, people will sometimes ask you, who do you belong to? So we need to remember who we belong to every day, but especially as we approach Christmas. When all else fails, when all desert us, the light that resides within us always claims us for itself and as its own, because we belong to the light. And it never forsakes us. Let's look at some more ways then that we can forsake the light practically in our lives, and also then how to restore the connection to the light. One of the interesting developments in how people view the world, reality, has come about through Buddhism, and it's not really correct. It's a misunderstanding. And in the West, it's become popular too with some people, and of course, in miracles, for instance, again, a misinterpretation. Many followers of these traditions will say that reality is an illusion, to which I always say, okay, I'll take this knife and I'll stick it in your arm. How much of an illusion is that? Feels pretty real, doesn't it? Unfortunately, this whole this is an illusion approach misses the very point of incarnation and of embodiment. We are meant to 100% invest ourselves and commit ourselves to our humanity. If my individuality and my personality and my personhood is just an illusion, then why bother? Why even deal with it? And when you think about it, it really gives a bad rap to our 3D world. It's a put down. It's a judgment. It's saying it's second class. So the whole this is an illusion approach is often the response of people to life. It's like, I'm not going to get my hands dirty. I'm not going to get involved. It's a stance of non-engagement with the world and its problems. Instead, we are here to fully appreciate our human minds and bodies and our embedded experience in this mind-body. That's how it works. That's why we're here. And we are meant to savor the gift and the experience of being a spirit in human form. That doesn't mean relishing the spirit part while only tolerating the human part. That's not the deal. It means relishing both parts of the experience and of the reality. Because before time and space existed, you and me were a thought, as they say, in the mind of God. The divine decided it wanted to experience you just as you are and me just as I am. It chose that expression. Each one of us is part of a great kaleidoscope. I have a little PowerPoint of a kaleidoscope. And there you are, right up there in that corner. I'm way down here. And that kaleidoscope every day keeps turning and interacting and having this marvelous experience of being the divine as us. So let's savor it for what it is and not put it down as an illusion. There is nothing illusory about our experience of being a divine human. If we are in the mind of God, then there must be a reason for that. We must have eternal significance and infinite value. It's not like God is creating us and then somehow extinguishes us. No, we are infinite beings. We have infinite value. The illusory part is the misperception or misunderstanding that this is all there is. And that's really what the Buddha was trying to say. It was like the attachment to just one photo of the kaleidoscope in 1 second. That's the illusion that you want to hold on to this particular photo, snapshot moment. But no, it is not an illusion. And the drama going on in the world is the full reality. And again, the misperception is that there's no divine guidance there, there's no divine presence in it, that somehow this is a fallen and corrupted world and it's beyond redemption. Just throw your hands up. Since the divine doesn't seem to be in charge, this is just a train wreck speeding to hell in a handbasket. That is the illusion. And it can bring us to our knees pretty fast when we get into that way of thinking. When you've watched either CNN or Fox News or MSNBC too long, there's a clue there. Turn off the TV, or at least change the channel. And like the solstice that we've just gone through one more time, the darkest moment is right before the dawn. The perception that the criminal has gotten away with the murder, or absconded with your money, or the politician has duped the people, or your partner has caused you irreparable harm, or the government has ripped off the public. All of this is part of the great illusory perception of a merely human mind, not thinking outside its little box. Yes, all of those perceptions have a validity to a degree, but they are not ultimate reality. And holding that distinction and making that distinction is practically being the light. When we do that, we are calling for the light into our minds, and we are seeing correctly. And then, of course, we act and feel correctly, don't we? And this, too, is very practical and requires a practice on our behalf to sift through our perceptions and to check to see, what am I believing and what are the feelings that are coming up because I'm believing this stuff? Being the light has to do with how we process our feelings as an act of self-care and respect for who we truly are. When you think about it, I mean, every day, what is the one thing that we all do? We all go through having tons of feelings. It's life. It's the energy of life. And so, processing those feelings is very important. And it's part of being the light. And it's a conscious choice. And it's a necessary first step of embracing our experience, not spiritual bypassing by saying, oh, that's just an illusion. No, it's not. It is very real, and we are invited to savor every aspect of it, like a gourmand who takes the particle of food and just runs it around the tongue to really taste every little flavor that's in there in life. And we are invited to be open-hearted towards it, no matter how painful it may be, and to embrace it fully with our feeling nature, our heart space. Marlene led us through a beautiful meditation. And by doing that, we will come to discover that this experience, this feeling, will not destroy me. It can't. I know we tell ourselves, oh my God, this is going to kill me. This will destroy me. I can't deal with this. That's only the defense we put up to deny ourselves the experience of discovering our deepest capacity, to feel as a divine human being, not just a mere human. One who feels with limitless capacity to embrace the human condition fully. Our human divine nature has overcome the world. We need not fear death in all of its manifestations, all of those little fears that we have. And again, practically, every time we embrace and process our fear, we are reclaiming the light of our being. Our job is to be a witness to the world in two ways. One is to acknowledge what you just experienced or saw or felt and not deny it. And secondly, to acknowledge the deepest reality at play in it also, that everything is the quantum field at play, as we talked about last week. In all of the pixels, all of it shimmering, is the divine. Again, a kaleidoscope of light. Being the light means I intend to embrace my feelings and then to use my words consciously and to allow my actions to activate a divine remembrance in me of who I am and of who everybody else is. If I forget to see the light in myself or others, I then utilize that wonderful gift of forgiveness, which is a guilt-free alignment with the truth of my being. It's a practice of simply changing and thinking a different way and understanding and perceiving in a different way and of being the light. So all we do is we just check ourselves, we stop and say, oh, did it again. And realign without guilt, without shame, without any need for judgment. The world is only showing up the way it is in order to bring up for us the emotional response we need to have and clear. Our feelings are already inside of us. Our experiences are only happening to trigger what is ready to erupt in our feeling nature. This is the essence of the teaching of the Hawaiian spirituality of Ho'oponopono. There's no point in blaming others for our feelings. They just exposed or pointed to them. It's not their fault. In fact, we say thank you for uncovering the feelings I was carrying and wasn't aware of, and for giving me this moment to clear them. This is an invitation to be bigger than the pain that other people seemed to have caused in you, due to their forgetfulness of seeing you as the light. It's an invitation to be bigger than the pain that caused others to ignore the light within them. So don't respond from the level of pain, at the level of pain. Respond from the level of the light and the power and the presence of that light. God, the universe, source, awareness, delights in being you. Do you understand that? That the universe this morning is excited about waking you up to be you. This is the gift that you bring here. And Rob reminds us of that so often when he's the platform assistant, about when someone new comes, there's a new presence, there's a new joy that wasn't with us before. The only problem really is when you don't want to delight in you, in the particular circumstances that are showing up in your life. When we come together to appreciate our divinity, we call that intimacy and unity. But it requires an ability to be intimate with ourselves, first of all, by appreciating our feelings and our experience. Feelings then become the door to our freedom. Rejecting our feelings is simply throwing them into the future and then asking someone else to trigger them down the road. And they will. And they will continue to do that until you wake up and realize, why am I still having this experience? These nasty feelings. Why can't I get rid of them? Because you haven't accepted them. You haven't become intimate with them and love them and bless them on their way. They will, in time, come to you. Do something to remind you of those feelings that we've all rejected in the past. And why are we doing this? Why are we so afraid of our experiences? Because they engender uncomfortable feelings. Well, why are we afraid of uncomfortable feelings? They're just energy. They're little packets of energy. Because our imagination tells us they're dangerous, they're scary, they're going to destroy us. I won't be perfect. This is just a closed loop pattern that then repeats itself. We need to bring some new outside air, some fresh perspective or light into what we're doing. Our imagination just feeds more fear, when instead we need to nurture ourselves by allowing our hearts to process our feelings. That, by comparison, is really nourishing and satisfying. Our imagination causes us to crave something else as the solution, of course, to our discomfort, like food, sugar, alcohol, sex, money, power, security, relationships, religiosity, you name it. Take your pick of a substitute for being at home with our experience and the feelings that get engendered. You see, the beauty of remembrance is to remember that you already are the all that is. So you don't need to be afraid of whatever bubbles up on the surface, because you are the ocean. You are the all that is. You are the one light that the Sufi poet talked about at the beginning, expressing in this kaleidoscope of life as each one of us, and in all faiths and cultures. We are the one light, this quantum field. The effort required on our part is to align with the light that we are. Not to manufacture it. The light is truly nourishing and it's filling, and we can never get enough of it. And you know, many of the spiritual adepts and masters have said that the time is coming when healing will take place through light. We will not have doctors and medicine and all of the stuff that we have at the moment. That we will simply connect with the light and it will heal us mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's how powerful the light is. And it's within us and it's waiting for us to connect with it. Because it's who we are. And we truly desire to explore the depths of our beingness, of who we are. And so when I respect the God in me at that level, by my choices for the light that I am, then it will be no surprise that others will more and more respect and honor the God that I am. They will see that. They will see the light, respecting the God being me, the I am in each one of us. So let's look at the choices we're making that show the universe how much we are respecting the light that we are. The only workable choice is to be more loving towards myself, including saying no to choices that are not helpful, to say, I love you too much to make that poor choice. That choice is not serving me. And then every day is a light festival when we are heart-centered. It doesn't just have to be a season of Advent or of whatever tradition you're from, Hanukkah, the great light festivals that are lining up in the calendar around us at this time of the year. It doesn't have to be just a few days like that. Imagine a time coming when all people on the planet see every day as a light holiday, holy day, festival, when we remember who we are, when life is just a light festival of heart-centered awareness. And we will look at what's happening in front of us and see this kaleidoscope of light beings. Always remember that you belong to the light. It is within you. And if we haven't encountered it yet, it's only because we haven't spent enough time within, going within, in the silence, as Charles Fillmore, the founder of Unity, would say. It's only a matter of exposing ourselves to the light. Do you remember what a negative was when we had cameras that had film? All we need to do is to put that negative into the light and let it become a positive image. Have you experienced the light that you are lately? Have you ever experienced it? Have you had a magnificent experience of it? Then bring it back. Bring it back to life by spending time in that field. Marlene, again, led us in our heartfelt meditation, taking us into that field of light. If not, are you willing to do so in 2020? I mean, I'm giving you a few days to decide. Because there is an urgent call going out at this time to the universe for people to step up and be the light. I think we all understand the importance of 2020. It's a big year, but it's not just for that reason. It's a turning point. The light is getting brighter and stronger, and it's pouring into the planet. And people around us are waking up, despite appearances. The question that we have to ask ourselves is whether we feel worthy or not of being the light. Because you see, that's the real stumbling block, isn't it? Do I believe that I am the exact same substance as the divine source that created all of this? That I am the same divine intelligence? That I have the same capacity and creativity and power to shine that light out around me and affect the 3D world that I live in? Some people, want to get angry and they want to fight. I want to say, no, just be the light. Connect with the light. Be the light and express it. When we experience it, it will heal any unworthiness that we have. And the light will then go from dormant within us to active, where we will be then able to radiate that light of the Christ that is within each one of us. Are you willing to be the light? Then spend the time getting to know it and to connect with it.